Melissa Golson told detectives.
He charged at me, and I started pulling the trigger.
On the surface, that sounds like fear, a split-second reaction. A woman claiming the threat came toward her, but the detective did not argue. He simply kept walking her back through the scene. Then Melissa's own story shifted.
He was running at me, or
Letting him get away.
And moments later, the detail that changed everything came out.
threats.
The gun had not fired at first. David heard the click and ran. Then Melissa admitted,
And I racked it as I ran.
that is where the detective's trap closed. Because this was no longer just about a woman reacting in panic. This was about a second decision. After the click, after David turned, after he moved toward the garage. And the detective pressed the point with one devastating question.
What? You don't think he stopped when he ran to the garage?
This is classic cognitive dissonance pressure. Melissa wants two versions to exist at once. David was a threat, but David was also running away. The detective does not need to call her a liar. He only forces both versions into the same room. But who was David Golson? And how did one kitchen argument over dishes end with Melissa chasing him into a closed garage? Welcome back to my channel. I don't have many followers, but your single comment is a ray of hope for me. On Saturday, October 30th, 2021, around lunchtime, the streets of Orange Park, Florida were calm. It was an ordinary late October day, the kind where nothing outside hinted at what was happening behind one closed door. Inside the Golson home, Melissa and David had just returned from Publix with sandwiches still waiting in the fridge. But the quiet did not last. An argument that had started earlier that morning came back to life. Dishes, laundry, OCD, family tension, and months of pressure all crashing into one moment. David went into the kitchen. Melissa said he began touching the dishes, the one thing he knew would set her off. But nearby, in a drawer between the kitchen and living room, was a gun she had taken from the safe earlier that day. When Melissa pulled the trigger, the gun only clicked. David ran. Then Melissa racked the weapon and followed him into the garage. With the garage door closed and nowhere left to go, David was shot multiple times. Afterward, Melissa did not call 911. She went back inside, watched TV, slept on the couch, and waited until the next day before finally breaking down to her sister. So, her sister turned her in. Let's look into the psychological aspects of this case.
Well, we briefly met out there for a split second, but I'm Dan. This is Brad.
How you doing?
My sister's still here?
Yes, she's over there talking to another Dan.
I'll get to say goodbye to her.
Absolutely. I'll make sure that happens for you, okay? So she's still here, and she very much cares for you. So we're going to talk about everything. I want to hear anything you have to say. Get your side of things. Tell me about you. Before we even start talking, I am going to read you what's called a Miranda rights. Because based on some of the questions, things we're going to talk about, I just need you to make sure you're aware of your rights, okay? Because you are in a police station, you're going to be asked some things, okay? So let me read these. If you have any questions, please ask me, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you for any question, if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand your rights? Do you have any questions on them?
I don't have questions on them.
As we understand, you've talked to a lot of deputies at this point. A lot's been going on. He and I have not been present when you talk to the deputies. That's why we want to hear your stories straight from you, rather than getting it from somebody else that you've already talked to. It makes more sense if we hear it straight from you.
Obviously I'm going to jail, but, do I need a lawyer, I guess?
That's your call.
My sister said just tell you guys what happened.
I'd love to talk to you and get your side of things, but it's entirely up to you.
What was the difference between talking to me with a lawyer present versus talking to me without a lawyer present?
Well, if you request a lawyer, we're done here. We're exiting here, and that it is what it is.
The interview begins calmly, but the seriousness is immediate. Detectives introduce themselves, confirm Melissa's sister is still nearby, and then read Melissa her Miranda rights before asking anything about what happened.
I don't know what that means.
Well, we can't offer you legal advice.
Correct.
So all we're here to do is to find out what took place. Like I said, you've talked to a lot of people up to this point. We just want to hear from you. If you don't feel comfortable talking to us, then that's fine too. That is your right.
Whatever happens, I deserve. So let's talk.
Okay.
You don't seem like a bad person. We don't know your name back here, and you have like no criminal history. So, like you come from a good family.
They're all cops.
No, really?
Here?
Really?
JSO.
JSO.
They're retired JSO.
Were you and David married? Did you guys have kids together?
No. Just from his former marriage.
Okay, how old are they?
6 and 8. Nine months.
Oh, wow.
2?
It's hard being a step-parent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just walk us through.
Can I call my dad?
We will let you at some point.
At some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't call him first to get his advice on whether I should.
You can request to speak to an attorney. See, and here's the reason behind it: is a family member or friend or something like that may distort what you're about to tell us, and we don't. That's why I said, rather than us talk to the deputies that you talk to, we'd rather get the story straight from you. I don't want anybody to distort whatever you're fixing to tell us,
Melissa is already unsure whether she should keep talking. She asks about needing a lawyer and whether she can call her father first. But instead of stopping the interview, she says, whatever happens, I deserve, and agrees to speak.
It's our reports that they get as far as our interactions and, how you're being very remorseful. Just because things happen doesn't mean you're a bad person.
What do you want to know?
We just want you to walk us through the story of what took place.
What happened?
I mean, we don't know the when, the why, the things like that.
Y'all found him?
Well, we haven't gone to the house. There is other officers at the house.
You're taking him away already?
No.
Not yet.
He's still being there.
We're going to get them all processed, okay? And then we're going to take care of them.
This happened yesterday, I'm assuming?
Yes.
In the morning or the afternoon?
Lunchtime.
Lunchtime?
We had just gotten back from Publix and he picked us up some Publix subs. And we didn't even, they're still in the fridge. We didn't even eat them.
And then from my understanding, I guess an argument started.
An argument has started that morning. I was woken up to an argument. I told one of the guy I was talking to earlier that I have OCD and I struggle with washing my hands and there's a amount of dishes in the kitchen right now. I struggle with that and laundry and stuff. And
so the argument was kind of based on chores, the house and things like that.
He did the cooking, I did the cleaning.
Right.
I did dishes because I insisted on doing the dishes, even though I struggle with it. I like them done right or a certain way or because I struggle with that stuff.
I understand.
Now the detectives begin with background, not accusations. Melissa explains that the incident happened around lunchtime after she and David returned from Publix. She says the argument began earlier that morning and involved chores, dishes, and her OCD.
We all have a little bit of it to an extent, maybe not the extent that you're saying, but we all have a little of it, at some point.
He woke me up. I've been sleeping on the couch, and he's been sleeping in the bed. And I've been sleeping on the couch for a while.
How long's a while?
A couple months.
A couple months.
How long you guys been together total?
We met in 2015. August of 2015. We got married in September 2018. Yeah. But yeah, we've been fighting lately. I've been sleeping on the couch.
Just all the dynamic that goes with that. And then also, an expression that she had some, OCD was how it was always kind of described to me as just, compulsive behavior, washing hands, things of that sort. Mm-hmm. And from talking with Melissa, and it's common knowledge that she was on, medication to help with that or anxiety or whatever it was.
Any fighting over anything particular or just typical married couples?
I can't even tell you at this point anymore. I don't even...
Is he violent?
Mainly my OCD. We fight about that because I struggle with that a lot. Is he violent? No.
Are you violent?
No. Yes, I guess.
Well, excluding from what happened yesterday, are you a violent person?
Normally, no. But we've been... fighting. The kids will be over. He's got 40% custody, and the kids will be over on their days, and it's everything gets swept to the side when the kids are there, and then the second the kids are gone, it just starts in every time. And he's been I'm at fault, not him, so if I don't mean to make him sound bad, he's not. But
yes.
Okay, so it wasn't an ongoing habit of him becoming violent like that. It was more associated with his emotions over the separation.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. He never ever touched me in a wrong way. He was very kind and gentle and loving.
Ever abusive toward the kids in any way?
Oh no, never.
Okay.
Well, and understand, it's not a matter of who sounds bad or who's at fault. We're just trying to get to the actual story of what took place.
He's had a short.
Melissa describes a marriage that had been breaking down for months. She says she had been sleeping on the couch, David was sleeping in the bedroom, and their arguments often centered around her OCD and household responsibilities.
That's for what I struggle with lately. And, Saturday he woke me up, angry. Probably because I wasn't in bed with him again. It's been hurting him that I don't sleep in bed with him. And he just woke me up angry and started, stomping around the house and, kind of trying to push my buttons with the OCD, and he threatened to call. We've been having some fights lately where he threatens to call the police, and he threatens to call my dad, and stuff like that. And
well, has it got to a point where if he's making a threat to call the police, that you've done something that the police would be involved, or is it just yelling?
It's yelling. I don't know if a person actually came out to our house. He said somebody did about a week or so ago.
You were asleep.
Huh?
I think you were asleep. Yeah, they had somebody come out.
Yeah, because he wouldn't leave me alone, and I started screaming for him to stop, and just he threatened to call somebody, and while he was outside, making a phone call, I finally was able to just calm down because he wasn't in there pestering me, and I did go to sleep, And just somebody really did come out that day?
Yes, ma'am. Like a deputy came out there and just put that you were asleep in bed and there was no allegation of a crime or anything like that.
Here, Melissa says the conflict had been escalating. She claims David had been threatening to call police or her father during arguments. She also admits that earlier that morning, she locked him out of the house before they later called a temporary truce.
Oh my god. He asked if I wanted to finish watching our show. We were watching a Netflix show together, and it was like we really had a truce, like we weren't fighting anymore. And he like went and put on his little camo robe and our son's Snoopy hat. And he sat on the couch, and I sat on the other couch. We watched our show we've been watching, and then shortly after that, he was hungry and wanted to go get something, and I went with him, and we rode up to Publix together, and when he parked and he went inside to get the subs, I asked him to leave his phone in the car. I wanted to call my dad and ask my dad something that he'd been saying stuff. He's been telling me my dad's saying stuff. And then I talked with my dad, and my dad said he didn't say that stuff. And then when he got back in the car, he wanted to know why, because he said, I'll leave my phone with you if you tell me what it was for. He didn't want me to call his mom. He didn't want me to call his ex. I told him it wasn't, and we had drawn a truce, and I didn't want his phone for that.
Did you not have your phone with you? Just his phone?
My phone hasn't been working. I tried to get a new phone, but I had AT&T, an Apple phone, and then I bought some stupid blue phone from Best Buy that doesn't even work. Apple, basically, I guess they're doing away with 4G or something. I don't know. So I haven't been able to I haven't been communicating with anybody for a while now.
What stuff was he supposedly telling? Was it stuff that he said he had told your dad?
I told my dad. When the cop had come out that one time, he had told me that he had called my dad, and that my dad had told him to Baker Act me.
The situation seems calm for a moment. Melissa says they watched a show together, then drove to Publix for food. But while David was inside, she used his phone to call her father, trying to check whether David had been telling her the truth.
And my dad, I did call my dad since then in front of him and asked my dad questions until, that came out. But that was kind of like the last thing, it seemed like. But I was mad at my dad because my dad basically had said that. And David was saying that was, my dad's go-to was to have me Baker acted. And when the cop came out, they said that that's not something we really push for. I don't even know what the cop really said, but he was saying that that's, not something that you guys push for out here. You just want to get help to people and let people know options and stuff like that. And that's what he said. And then when I talked to my dad while he was in Publix on Saturday, my dad was saying that the cop is the one who suggested Baker acting me. And David mentioned it to my dad. And my dad said, as a last resort, if that's what it comes down to. And so it was complete opposite of what David had been telling me my dad's been saying. And when he got in the car, I was just really angry because I felt like he's been trying to turn me against my family for a while. I came from a good family. And I was so close with my family when I first met him, and I don't really even interact with a lot of my family members anymore. And I'm starting to question who he even was as a person. And, you trust your dad. And I had turned my back on my dad. And my dad's saying that that's not what he said. Or how he said it even. And so we got in the car from Publix. I told him he was a liar. I told him that I had just called my dad and talked to him, and I called him a liar. And he took huge offense to that and got very upset that I called him a liar.
This call becomes a turning point in her story. Melissa says she believed David had been twisting what her father said about Baker acting her. When David returned, she called him a liar, attacked his church calling, and the argument exploded again.
I think I even said something about
said something what?
He's been in seminary. And he just started interning at our church this past month. I told him his calling, like the things that he's been saying and doing lately, that he just told him that like it was like a sham, his calling, like him saying he wants to be like a pastor or whatever. It's a sham. And he got really upset about that also. And we started fighting on the way home. And then when we got home, it was like World War III again. And he went in and like went to the kitchen, and we have a mountain of dishes in there that of course bother me if anybody messes with them except me. And so he went in there and started messing with all the things that he knows would bother me.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't know. Yeah, when she was on her meds, she was, I don't know, but it was at a level where it didn't cause these issues of not being able to touch dishes or not being able to do laundry or, her washing her hands for hours. I'm sure she always had that. She's a very detailed individual. So her personality was lent towards specifics, making sure all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed. When she was getting with Trinidad, even down there, she was very hyper-focused on, you would just say, wow, she's very detail-oriented.
And,
what time did you guys get home?
I don't know. It was around noon, which I don't know what time exactly it was. But, that was when I pulled out a gun from the drawer and then shot him.
And whose gun is it?
Mine.
It's yours? Did he know that you had that?
Yes, we have a big safe in the office. He has hunting rifles. He hunts deer and hog, and he's got a couple, and I had two.
And it was a pistol, correct? A little Ruger?
I don't know. It's a 380.
A 380. One of those like pocket size, little small ones. And you said you kept it in your drawer?
It was in the drawer, yeah.
In the bedroom?
In a drawer in the living room. There's a drawer right there between. There's like a kitchen and the living room, and there's a little table with a drawer that it was in.
Okay, do you keep it in there?
No.
Is that where it normally stays?
No.
This is the first direct confession. Melissa says that after they got home, David went into the kitchen and started touching the dishes, knowing it bothered her. Then she says she pulled a gun from a drawer and shot him.
I had pulled it out that morning from our safe.
Okay.
It was even alone.
When things started to escalate, you got it out of the safe just in case?
I had it on my person that morning. And when we finally called the truce, and I felt safe to put it away, I just put it in that drawer right there, and so it was right there.
Was it already chambered?
Yeah. I think so.
Was it chambered in the safe, or did you pull it out and chamber it and then put it like in your pocket?
I just pulled it out of the safe.
You see out on your person, do you have like a holster or anything, or?
I had it in my pocket.
Pocket. Did he know that you had that morning? So once the truce got called, you put the gun in that drawer?
That little drawer right there between the kitchen.
Okay. Is there like a table there? Or a lamp on it or anything?
It's like a little black table. It's a little narrow, square table. About yay high.
Okay.
Well, not Not very wide or big.
Okay. Where was he when you went to the drawer?
I was beside the drawer. I was standing in the opening to the kitchen. He was over at the sink messing with the dishes.
Trying to get a row out of you?
Yeah.
The detectives now focus on the weapon. Melissa explains the gun was hers, usually kept in a safe, but earlier that morning she had taken it out and carried it. After the truce, she placed it in a drawer near the kitchen and living room.
Did you shoot him from that location?
I shot him from multiple locations.
But I mean, first shot, was you standing by the drawer when you shot him, or did you walk up to him?
He charged at me, and I started pulling the trigger. We ended up running into the garage. He ran. Once I started shooting, he ran into the garage, and I chased him into the garage.
Do you know if you shot him in the living room before the garage? You don't know, or?
Mm-mm.
You said he charged at you. Did he see you with the gun?
I think he charged at me. Yeah, he saw me pull it out.
So when you ran into the garage, what happened in the garage?
He was running to the far away to get away, and I was just shooting. And then I didn't even know I had shot him. I don't think he even knew he'd been shot. He started trying to wrestle the gun away from me. We were on the lawnmower. My back was against the lawnmower, and he was trying to wrestle the gun away, and there wasn't anything left in there.
So the gun was empty at that point?
I felt it was empty. It had popped open or whatnot. And then he gurgled. And I heard a gurgle. And he slumped. And he slumped between the lawnmower and the garage door. And
Melissa describes the shooting moving into the garage. She says David ran, she chased him, and she kept firing. By the end, the gun was empty. David had collapsed near the lawnmower and garage door, and Melissa says she felt stunned.
Where do you think you shot him?
I know where I shot him. I looked at it.
Where was that?
Two times?
I don't know.
What you've seen, was it 2 times?
What happened with the gun?
I just put it down. There's in the garage. There's the green tote in there. I got up and sat on it. Just stunned. I never touched it. I looked at her and didn't touch it after that.
Did you call anybody? Text or anything?
No.
Did you think about calling rescue team? But you didn't because of why?
Good. He's already dead.
At the point you thought about calling rescue, he was dead.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I felt so calm. I didn't know what to do. I didn't think he would make it.
You didn't think he would make it?
I didn't think he would make it. He was already so pale. He was so pale.
How long was he until, when he went to the floor, how long until he went still?
I laid him out because he just let it him to be uncomfortable.
Did he fall like on his stomach, on his side?
He slumped.
between the lawnmower and the garage door? Did you pull them out or anything? You
yeah, because I didn't know what I didn't know I had actually even shot him. I was trying to see where I had shot him. I laid them out, and I checked, and I saw the one there, and then I saw the one there, and I didn't know what to do. It's hard to make a decision that fast.
Now the detectives move to what happened after the shooting. Melissa admits she did not call for help, saying she thought it was already done. She says she moved David's body to check where he had been hit, then went back inside.
Well, we wouldn't expect you to know, per se, what to do. I mean, you're going to be in shock as well. But there's a point between that's 12 o'clock Saturday to what happened to today. There's a period in between. And what did you do? Where did you go?
I laid down on the couch and I slept. I watched some TV and I cuddled with my dog and I slept.
Did you ever go back out in the garage and check on him?
He was dead before I left the garage.
The first time?
Did he quit moving pretty quickly once he slumped? Did you go anywhere last night? Or this morning? So your sister's this morning, correct? Did you go anywhere else before her house?
36:00, voiceover 12. The timeline after the shooting becomes disturbing. Melissa says she lay on the couch, slept, watched TV, and cuddled her dog. The detectives are trying to understand a long gap between the shooting and the moment she finally told someone.
I told my dad I would bring back like this drill mixer, cement mixer that he had wanted or needed back to use to do his bathroom. He's remodeling his bathroom.
You took that to your dad's house first? How long were you there for?
If he wasn't there, I just left it by the front door. I went next door. My grandmother lives next door. It was like church time, like 11:30 or something. I went next door to see my grandmother. I just wanted to. I haven't seen her in a while. I wanted to see her and hug her and tell her I loved her.
Did you talk to her? Was she there?
She was. I just hugged her. She tried to get me to come inside and talk to her. You could tell, like, I was upset. Something was wrong because I was crying. But I told her I couldn't stay. I just wanted to see her and hug her and tell her I love her.
Is there anything else you can think of that I might need to know or that stands out to you?
She's just had a lot of erratic behavior. One time at a kindergarten, at my daughter's kindergarten end of the year celebration a couple of years ago, David was there and his parents were there and me and Jason were there. And there was just some like certificates on the desk, and I picked them up and I went to David and I said, I'll keep this one and you keep that one and then we can make copies or, switch, whatever. And Melissa got angry and she got both of the certificates in her hand. And I went up to her and I said, me and David agreed to, each keep a certificate and copy it and give it back to each other. And she was like, no, it's not your night with the kids. And she refused to give me the papers. And then she just ran out of the classroom and just ran out of the school. I don't want her to be upset. So maybe you need to talk to her about Melissa being mean to the kids.
She lives right next to where your dad? Have you talked to your dad since all this? Since it happened?
No.
So as it stands, the only person that knows, other than, of course, the law.
Unless she's called already.
But that's the only person you've talked
I went over this like too much from my dad, and I wanted to see my niece and nephew.
Right.
They're I just wanted to see them. And really been on the best of terms lately. Like family drama. And I just wanted
39:00 voiceover 13. Melissa tells detectives she visited family the next morning. She dropped something at her father's house, hugged her grandmother, and later went to see her niece and nephew. But she still had not called police or told her father what happened.
they're I just wanted to see them. And really been on the best of terms lately. Like family drama. And I just wanted I wasn't even there to like see and hug her so much as to see and hug my niece and nephew. So
Have you and your husband ever been physically violent with each other? Or has it all been verbal?
it's been verbal, it's been feeling as though it's been escalating though.
Right. But it's, at this point it maintained verbal, maybe some words that shouldn't be said, passed back and forth, things like that.
I've thrown things towards him to get him to try to leave me alone before. But it mainly just hit the wall.
And minus the OCD, have you ever been diagnosed with a mental illness or anything? No?
Just OCD.
When you guys came home after Publix, was he threatening you or anything? Or making threats to you? Mostly just picking at you with the dishes and things like that?
Picking, pushing the buttons, trying to get a rise.
So to help us understand, we're trying to understand. Where does it go from a verbal argument to getting a gun out, thinking the only resolution to this is death?
I don't know.
Did you not feel like you had a way out? You couldn't call somebody and get out of there?
Just got built up?
I just wanted to stop. I just wanted to be able to breathe and think. He just pushes my buttons. It's like, I just want him to stop. I just want to think. I just want to have calm. And it happens every time. I just want to, he wants me to like go do things and work on the house or do the dishes or whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing.
The detectives now challenge the core question. Why did a verbal argument become deadly? Melissa says it built up, that she wanted him to stop, and that she felt unable to breathe or think. But her explanation still leaves major gaps.
Sport, had the kids in sport.
Other than Saturday, how many times do you think you've put a gun on yourself because of arguing you wanted it to stop? Never resulted to, of course, what happened Saturday. But how many times do you think you've done it?
That was the first time I've ever done that.
Has he ever done that?
I wouldn't know, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Has he ever pulled one on you?
No.
So when you get the gun out of the drawer, and you said he charges you, do you say anything? Are you yelling at him? Is that what catches his attention?
No, he had my attention because he was looking for the rise.
So he's looking to get a rise out of you.
He wasn't even trying to do the dishes. He just started like picking cups up and moving them around. He just thought it was funny.
Just to piss you off.
But were you yelling at him because of it?
I was asking him to stop. Yeah, I was yelling for him to stop.
Stop. But at some point he's got to notice that you're getting the gun out, right? And when he starts, what's the distance you think between the kitchen and where you said you got the gun from?
Bear in mind, we haven't been to the house yet.
Yeah.
Open the door. Maybe that wall
Maybe that wall.
where he was.
Was he by the sink?
So not too far then.
Attention returns to the exact moment she pulled the gun. Melissa says David was pushing her buttons with the dishes, and she was yelling for him to stop. But when detectives ask if he was attacking her, her answer becomes less certain.
So when you started pulling the trigger, was it just a repetitious thing? Or did you just a couple times and stop? Or
I don't know.
You don't know? And did he run to the garage? And then you chased behind him?
Yeah.
Did he, when he saw you with the gun, did he say anything to you?
I don't think so.
He just ran at you?
I think. I don't know if he was running at me or.
Running to get away?
Felt like he was running at me and then stopped and ran to the garage instead.
So before he made it to you, he ran to the garage.
Because I'd pulled the sleeve off already. There was a sleeve he was in.
Like old holster?
Like a little cloth holster.
So it was in the drawer. Did he see you pull the whole thing out? Or did he see it when you took the actual gun out of the holster?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
The intent is what would cause him to think that you would actually pull the trigger? Because if I'm married, if my wife were to get in an argument, let's say, and she pulled the gun out, in my mind I would think she's not actually really going to do that. So why would he think that you would? To the point that he's got to run. Did you tell him you're fixing to shoot him?
No, I didn't say anything.
Does he just know you to that point that he believes that you would actually go through with it? That's a pretty bold thing. If I'm running to you to possibly get the gun away from you, you take the gun out of the sleeve, and then I take a hard left or right, whatever it is, to get to the garage.
It clicked.
The gun clicked?
It clicked, yeah.
Before it went off?
You're going to have a safety?
It wasn't racked.
Wasn't racked, okay.
So it clicked, and you had to rack it to put one in?
I pulled it a couple of times.
This is one of the most important shifts in the interview. Melissa first says David charged at her, but then admits he may have been running away. She also says the gun clicked first, and she racked it while chasing him into the garage.
Where was he standing when he was first struck? Was he still by the sink?
I racked it as I ran.
So as you're following him to the garage is when you racked it?
Yeah.
Did you fire any shots inside the house, or were they just in the garage?
Just the garage. Just the garage.
And understand we haven't seen your gun. Does your gun have a hammer?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about, the slide that has a hammer, a semi-automatic gun that also has a hammer on it as well.
I think it has a hammer.
You think it does have a hammer? Okay. So you pull the trigger a couple of times, he hears the click, he makes the hard turn to go to the garage, you're chasing behind him, and
I racked it as I ran.
You racked it as you ran. You get into the garage,
and I was just firing.
And he's obviously still running from you, right? Any idea what he's running to? Because the garage is closed, I'm assuming.
Oh, he was running away.
He's trying to get away.
He's knocking stuff over.
Does your gun look like that? Similar?
I guess.
Okay. That's what I was told was out there, was one of these.
Okay. So he's knocking things over, trying to get away. Is the entrance to the garage closer where you guys were at than, say, the front door? the residence?
He couldn't get out. There was no way for him to get out. The garage was down.
So he couldn't get out. So he's basically trapped.
He was just running.
And when you get in the garage and you're shooting at him, before the wrestling over the guns takes place, what's the distance at that point do you think you actually shot him? Same distance?
I don't know.
I mean, let me re-explain it. Are you closing the gap on him, per se, as you're shooting? Like, if he's ran to the corner, or he's ran to the door where the lawnmower is, are you closing the gap as you're shooting, getting closer and closer?
I don't know. He ran out there.
The detectives break down the mechanics of the shooting. Melissa says she fired only in the garage while David was trying to get away. They press her on distance, movement, and whether she was closing in as she kept firing.
He ran out there.
Was he by the garage door when he was struck?
I don't know when I struck him. I didn't think I had struck him because he was...
You're still wrestling.
He's still running and wrestling. Yeah, he ran and I was just shooting. And...
Do you remember the gun going off while you were wrestling?
It did. When he had me against the lawnmower, and he was trying to get the gun.